very significant blowout, but most of them were pretty close, and really good games this week. So let's get to it here. Starting off with Thursday night. The Green Bay Packers defeated the San Francisco 49ers 34-17. For the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers was 25 of 31 for 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 98.9 and a rating of 147.2. Have a day, Aaron Rodgers. He balled out. Thursday night, Aaron Jones carried the rock 15 times for 58 yards. Devontae Adams had 10 receptions for 173 yards and a touchdown. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had 2 receptions for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Green Bay Packers looked really good Thursday. For the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Mullins got the start for injured Jimmy Garoppolo. Nick Mullins was 22 of 35 for 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a QBR of 16 and a rating of 86.7. Jerick McKinnon carried the rock 12 times for 52 yards and a touchdown. James had 9 receptions for 184 yards and a touchdown. Just too much firepower to deal with, and too many injuries for San Francisco to stay around in that game. Green Bay's really good. Green Bay improves to 6-2, and San Francisco falls to 4-5. Okay, so moving on to Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Carolina Panthers 33-31. Just snuck in there, got the win. For the Panthers, Teddy two gloves, Teddy two gloves, Teddy two gloves, Teddy two gloves. Teddy Bridgewater was 36 of 49 for 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 89.4 and a rating of 103.3. Christian McCaffrey, first week back from injury, 18 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel had 9 receptions for 105 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey also had 10 receptions for 82 yards and a touchdown. A valiant effort by the Carolina Panthers, but it was not enough. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was 30 of 45 for 372 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 82.7 and a rating of 121.7. Clyde Edwards-Helaire carried the rock 5 times for 14 yards. Travis Kelce have a day. Travis Kelce had 10 receptions for 159 yards. Tyreek Hill had 9 receptions for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. So many weapons to deal with on Kansas City. The Chiefs are now 8-1. Carolina falls to 3-6. That was a very winnable game for the Carolina Panthers. I was impressed. I did not think it was going to be that close. But in the end, the defending champs prevailed. Alright, moving on here. The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins defeated the Arizona Cardinals 34-31. Let's go, Tua. It is officially Tua time. It is officially Tua time. Tua and O. Tua is 2-0 as the starter in Miami. And what a game. This was such a good game. For the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa was 20 of 28 for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 87.8 and a rating of 122.3. Clutch plays down the stretch to win the game. Ahmed carried the rock 7 times for 38 yards. Tua Tagovailoa carried it 7 times for 35 yards. Devontae Parker had 6 receptions for 64 yards. Williams had 4 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. For the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray was 21 of 26 for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 96.8 and a rating of 150.5. No backing down from Kyler Murray. He played a great game. He also carried the rock 11 times for 106 yards and a touchdown. Christian Kirk had 5 receptions for 123 yards and a touchdown. This game Miami's gonna make the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game. I like what I'm seeing so far. Very small sample size. Only 2 games. So we got a long ways. We got a lot left to see from him, but I like what I'm seeing so far. And against a very good Cardinals team. A very good Cardinals team. So Miami improves to 5-3, and Arizona falls to 5-3. And with New England looking the way that they look, then I think that Miami's gonna come in wild card. Buffalo probably win the division, and then Miami finish second. But you know what? Miami could even contend to win that division. I haven't seen like the rest of the schedule. Let me take a look at that right here. Alright, so the rest of the way Miami plays the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos, the New York Jets, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Buffalo Bills. So you figure Kansas City's gonna be tough to win. So 8 games left. 8 games left. If they win 5 of them, they should be in. The Atlanta Falcons defeated the Denver Broncos 34-27. For the Denver Broncos, Drew Lock was 25 of 48 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 49, and a rating of 77.9. Not a great game. Not a great game from Drew Lock, who I kind of like. He also carried the rock 7 times for 47 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy had 7 receptions for 125 yards and a touchdown. For the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan was 25 of 35 for 284 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 95, and a rating of 112.1. Todd Gurley carried the rock 19 times for 53 yards and a touchdown. Zacchaeus had 4 receptions for 103 yards and a touchdown. Julio Jones had 5 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Atlanta getting their 3rd win of the season, and so they're 3-6, and Denver falls to 3-5. It seems like Atlanta and the Chargers, the Falcons and the Chargers have like switched. It's like the Chargers are thinking that since the Falcons stopped blowing leads, like they need to fill that spot or something. They keep blowing leads too, which brings me to my next game. The Las Vegas Raiders defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 31-26. For the Raiders, Derek Carr was 13 of 23 for 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 75.1, and a rating of 108.1. Booker carried the rock 8 times for 68 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs carried it 14 times for 65 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow had 2 receptions for 60 yards. Nelson Aguilar had 2 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert was 28 of 42 for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 60.5, and a rating of 105.9. Kalen Ballage carried the rock 15 times for 69 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 9 receptions for 103 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen is a beast. He is a beast. But look, the Chargers do have a little bit of the Atlanta Falcons syndrome this year. I think they've got 6 losses by combined 24 points. So that's bananas to have 6 losses and only lose by combined 24 points. And they had a chance to win this game at the end and almost did. Came down to a last second touchdown that was called a touchdown and then reviewed, and it turned out to be an incomplete pass. So they lost again, 2-6. The Chargers are 2-6. The Raiders improved to 5-3. But yeah, the Chargers out here blowing leads like the Atlanta Falcons used to. So we'll see what happens the rest of the way. I think they're in too deep a hole. In that division at 0-6, but I do like the way that Justin Herbert is playing so far. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Seattle Seahawks 44-34. Yo, the Seahawks defense is kind of trash, isn't it? I feel kind of bad for Russell Wilson because, I mean, Russell Wilson's just balling out of his mind this season, and I feel like it's going to be wasted because that defense is bad. It's bad. Case in point right here, Josh Allen was 31 of 38 for 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 79.3, and a rating of 138.5. Also carried the rock 9 times for 18 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen also had a rushing touchdown. Stephon Diggs continues his good season, 9 receptions for 118 yards. I appreciate that he's on my fantasy team. For the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson was 28 of 41 for 390 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 69.2 and a rating of 94.6. DJ Dallas carried the rock 7 times for 31 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf had 7 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. Moore had 4 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. I love watching Russell Wilson play. I think that he's got to be the MVP candidate favorite right now. Although Josh Allen just kind of maybe reinserted himself into the talks of what's next. But I mean, let's not get too carried away. Also, Patrick Mahomes is out here balling as well. So I think that Seattle is a liability in the playoffs with that defense. They gotta fix that up if they want to advance in the playoffs, because that's not gonna cut it even with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson can cover up a lot of mistakes, but there are limits. The Tennessee Titans defeated the Chicago Bears 24-17. For the Chicago Bears, Nick Foles was 36 of 52 for 335 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 39.7 and a rating of 99.4. 52 pass attempts for Nick Foles seems like a lot. David Montgomery carried the rock 14 times for 30 yards. Ouch. That's probably why he had to throw it 52 times, because they only averaged 2.8 yards a carry as a team. Allen Robinson had 7 receptions for 81 yards. For the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill was 10 of 21 for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 44.5 and a rating of 104.9. Derrick Henry carried the rock 21 times for 68 yards. A.J. Brown had 4 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown's having a breakout season. Tennessee improves to 6-2. Chicago falls to 5-4. The Baltimore Ravens defeated the Indianapolis Colts 24-10. For the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson was 19 of 23 for 170 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 73.5 and a rating of 97.5. He also carried the rock 13 times for 58 yards and a touchdown. Boyle had 4 receptions for 46 yards. For the Indianapolis Colts, Phillip Rivers was 25 of 43 for 227 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 33.6 and a rating of 62.8. Wilkins carried the rock 11 times for 39 yards. Pittman had 4 receptions for 56 yards. This was really a defensive battle. 24-10, Baltimore comes away with the win. They improved to 6-2, and Indianapolis falls to 5-3. The Minnesota Vikings defeated the Detroit Lions 34-20. For the Lions, Matt Stafford was 23 of 32 for 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 51.6 and a rating of 73.8. DeAndre Swift carried the rock 13 times for 64 yards. Danny Amendola had 7 receptions for 77 yards. For the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 13 of 20 for 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 83.8, and a rating of 141.7. Dalvin Cook is a monster. Dalvin Cook carried the rock 22 times for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns, a 70-yarder, in which the Lions only had 10 guys on the field. Justin Jefferson had 3 receptions for 64 yards. So Detroit falls to 3-5, and Minnesota improves to 3-5. It's looking more and more like Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers are going to run away with that division. The New York Giants get a dub. The New York Giants defeated the Washington football team 23-20. And a nail biter than Kyle Allen at the Washington football team. Another quarterback injury with a gruesome leg injury. But Alex Smith did step in. He was 24 of 32 for 325 yards and 1 touchdown. He did throw 3 interceptions, a QBR of 32.4 and a rating of 78.3. Gibson carried the rock 6 times for 20 yards and a touchdown. They only ran the ball 9 times total as a team. That's usually not a good sign. Terry McLaurin had 7 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown. He's having a really good season as well. For the Giants, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes. He was 23 of 34 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, a QBR of 53.5 and a rating of 94.2. Wayne Gallman carried the rock 14 times for 68 yards and a touchdown. Mack had 4 receptions for 72 yards. The Giants improved to 2-7, and Washington falls to 2-6. That division is just something else, isn't it? The Houston Texans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-25. Weird score, 27-25. But Deshaun Watson was 19 of 32 for 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 67.2 and a rating of 109. Deshaun Watson also carried the rock 10 times for 50 yards. Will Fuller had 5 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had 3 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, Luton got the start. Minshew is injured. Is it Luton or Lutton? I don't know which one, but he was 26 of 38 for 304 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception, for a QBR of 78.9 and a rating of 90.2. Robinson carried the rock 25 times for 99 yards and a touchdown. DJ Chark had 7 receptions for 146 yards and a touchdown. So Houston gets their second win. Houston improves to 2-6, and Jacksonville falls to 1-7. Okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Dallas Cowboys 24-19. Interesting game here. I don't think anybody was expecting this. I don't think anybody was expecting it to be this close. I think we all expected Pittsburgh to win, but I think we expected Pittsburgh to win this a little bit more easily than they did. Ben Roethlisberger was 29 of 42 for 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 75.4 and a rating of 113.8. Not long before halftime, it was around 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Roethlisberger took a big hit and could tell that his knee wasn't right, but he did end up coming out. He finished the series. He stayed in for the series, finished the series, then ended up coming out for halftime and came back out, played, finished the game. So Ben Roethlisberger's a tough guy, but yeah, he was able to finish. So that's good news for Pittsburgh fans. James Conner had 9 carries for 22 yards. Tough running the ball. The Steelers only had 46 yards rushing as a team. Dallas really kind of shut down the run. But the passing game was a different story. Juju Smith-Schuster had 6 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown. The Steelers receiving core is really good. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Washington, Juju Smith-Schuster, they're all really good. For the Dallas Cowboys, Gilbert was 21 of 38 for 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a QBR of 62.7 and a rating of 72.6. Pollard carried the rock 9 times for 57 yards. CD Lamb had 4 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. touchdown. Dallas falls to 2-7. Pittsburgh stays undefeated at 8-0. But they did need 3 scores in the fourth quarter to win the game. The Sunday night game. Okay, again, I don't think anybody was expecting this. 38-3 blowout. The New Orleans Saints defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-3. It was ugly for the Buccaneers. Drew Brees looked good. Drew Brees was 26 of 32 for 222 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 98.9, and a rating of 135.2. Have a day, Drew Brees. Taysom Hill carried the rock 7 times for 54 yards. Alvin Kamara carried the rock 9 times for 40 yards and a touchdown. Michael Thomas, welcome back. Michael Thomas had 5 receptions for 51 yards. Listen to this spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different players. 12 different Saints caught a pass on Sunday night. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady was 22 of 38 for 209 yards. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions for a QBR of 3.8 and a rating of 40.4. Ouch. Horrible game. Horrible game from Tom Brady. Ronald Jones carried the rock 3 times for 9 yards. That's their leading rusher at 9 yards. As a team, they had 5 carries for 8 yards. Okay. That's why you got blown out. Mike Evans had 4 receptions for 64 yards. And the newly acquired Antonio Brown had 3 receptions for 31 yards. Shellacked. They just got shellacked. I tell you, the Saints improved to 6-2, and Tampa Bay falls to 6-3. We'll see if they have a matchup in the playoffs or not. But that's the second time New Orleans got them this year. So, just an ugly game for Tampa Bay. But New Orleans looked really good. And then Monday night, we were thinking, the Jets looked like that they were going to come away with it there for a little bit, but the New England Patriots prevailed 30-27 over the New York Jets. Cam Newton was 27 of 35 for 274 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 90.1 and a rating of 99, and a big fourth quarter. The last 2 drives on the fourth quarter for Cam, really good. Harris carried the rock 14 times for 71 yards. Jacoby Myers had 12 receptions for 169 yards. Half a day, Jacoby Myers. Cam Newton also had 2 rushing touchdowns. For the New York Jets, Joe Flacco was 18 of 25 for 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 97 and a rating of 128.7. Frank Gore carried the rock 12 times for 46 yards. Brashad Perryman had 5 receptions for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good game from him. The Patriots improved to 3-5, and the Jets stay winless at 0-9. I will never pick the Jets this year. They're saying Jets fans were like crying about the loss, but then also still kind of happy about the loss because they're trying to keep that number 1 pick now, tanking for Trevor, right? So I tell you what though, if I was Trevor Lawrence, I would not be playing for the Jets. I would take a hard pass on that. Dolphins.